All right, welcome to the review for Unit 2. In this unit, we learned how to convert between fractions and decimals and percents. All right, so we learned how to write each of these decimals. These are terminating decimals, and that word is on the test, terminating. These are terminating decimals. And so that one is 19 and 1/100th, right? That's the hundredths place. That is 41 thousandths, because it's in the thousands place. And that's 6 and 37 10,000ths, because that's 4 places over. 12 and 1/10 is 12.1. 3 and 71 thousandths is 3.071, right? If you wrote 3.71, you wrote 71 hundredths. It goes tenths, hundredths, thousandths. And 10 thousandths is 4 places over. So you have to add a 0. So that's 0.0441. 441 10,000ths. I wanted you to memorize that 1/2 is 0.5 is 50%. 1/4, which would be right there, is 0.25, 25%. And if you've got those two memorized, you should also memorize that 3/4 is 0.75, 75%, right? 3/4 of a dollar is 75 cents. 1/4 of a dollar is 25 cents. Half a dollar, 50 cents. So 9 hundredths as a fraction is that. As a decimal, it's that. 27 thousandths is that as a fraction, and that as a decimal. Right, each is a simplified fraction or a mixed number. So we're going to simplify this mixed number, 6 and 75 hundredths, simplified, right? We hopefully know our 25 times table now. 25 times 3 makes 75, so this becomes 6 and 3, and 25 times 4 is 100, becomes 6 and 3/4. You must always simplify your fraction. No raising your hand and asking anymore. That's 19 and 25 thousandths. Right? And we've done ones like this, so this is not that hard, right? 25 divided by 25 is 1. Now 25 goes into 104, so it goes into 1,040 times 19 and 1/40th. Write that as a decimal. Decimals over, right? We don't need the division method here because it's one of these denominators. If it's 2, 5, 10, right? Oops, I forgot 8 in there because we can do thousands with that. 20, 25, 50, or 100, right? All of those very nicely make terminating decimals. So we can just put it over 10. It's 2 and, right, 8/10ths, which is 12.8. 8/40ths, right? Now we're going to try to put this over 10, 100, or 1,000. Right, we actually could put over 1,000, but let's simplify it first. 8 divided by 8 is 1, 40 divided by 8 is 5. Oh, much easier once you simplify it. So if the trick doesn't work, you do that. We get 2/10ths. The decimal is 0.2. And if you want to put the leading 0, that's fine. I don't take points off for that. Convert that to dollars and cents. Well, money is out of 100, right? So we got to get that over 100. 5 times 20 makes 100. 2 times 20. So it's 8 and 40 hundredths, which is $8.40. All right. This is the only place where you need this extra 0, really. Convert the fractions to percents. So now we're going, and please, on the test, look, don't give me a decimal when the answer is a percent, or vice versa. There are people who will do that. And you will get no credit because you didn't read. 20 times 5 is 100. 23 times 5 is 115 out of 100. So the percent here is 115%. All right, as soon as you see an improper fraction, you should be realizing you're going to get 100% or more. 20 over 20, right, is 100%. It's also 1 whole. 63 out of 700. Now again, you could simplify that, but right, you're trying to get it over 100. So you can just divide top and bottom by 7. You get 9 hundredths. You get 0.009 hundredths. So not, and again, I almost made it a decimal. 9 hundredths is 9%. Right? We're trying to make this a percent. So let's simplify this. Let's divide by 4. You get 6/10. Notice, I could have gone down and gotten 3/5. Either way, I'll get the right answer. Because I'm just trying to make it over 100. It is 60%. If you do 3/5, then it's 20 on top. You multiply 20 and 20, and you still get the same answer. So you don't, for this, you don't always have to go down to the simplified fraction, because all you're asked for is the percent. Karen got 18 wrong, 18 correct, and 2 wrong. Now, I was on her English test. What percent did she get correct? So she got 18 correct out of a total of 20, right? That's what you're doing. And then you're trying to make that a percent. So 20 times 5 is 100. 18 times 5, 8 times 5 is 40. Ooh, they got a 90%, which typically is the lowest A. Right? Little trick, you just move the decimal twice, and that becomes 4%. Right? You move it twice, that becomes 118%. You move it twice. You do not move it to the end. And this is usually the one that people get wrong, because this is 2.5%. Right? This is a it's 25 out of 1,000, which is 2.5 out of 100. Right? Those are equal. Now make that a decimal, right? 0.129, 129 thousandths. This one, 1, 2, you have an empty space, you got to put a 0 back. It's 0.02, that's 2%. We're mixing pink paint again, I think. Yes. So what portion will be red? So it's 42 out of 60 if you add those up. So it's 42 out of 60, and we got to make that a decimal. So we got to get this over 10, 100, or 1,000. Those are both divisible by 6, so we get 7/10. Oh, 7/10. I don't even need to do anymore. That's 0.7, and I'm going to shade up to this line, this curved line that says 0.7 or 7/10 is red, right? What does that mean for the white, right? So that means this is 7/10, 0.7. It means this is 3/10, right? It's got to add up to 1, right? Which means 70% of it was red in this pink mix, and 30% was white out of the total. Now you could have done this way. 18 out of 60, better make 0.3, 30%. I'm always asking you the red just to be consistent. But to do the right, white, you divide those both by 6, you get 3/10. All right, so now it says round to the nearest whole percent. That's a dead giveaway that this is going to be a repeating decimal. And also that you have a 6 down there should give it away. We've done 5/6 before. 6 times 8 is 48. Remainder 2, bring down to 0. 6 into 20, 3 times 6 is 18. Remainder 2, bring down to 0. 6 into 20, 3 times 6 is 18. Remainder 2, and we get 3's forever. All right, so the decimal is 0.8 with 3 repeating. The percent, we're always going to move it over here. And oh, by the way, I haven't said this, but if you move it here, what happens is I get answers like 83%, which sometimes is right, but sometimes is wrong because of rounding. So this is 83.3 repeating percent, but then it says round to 83%. So you need both that and that for this answer. It says write as a decimal and round to the nearest whole percent. This is called the exact answer. If I ask for the exact percent on that, that's what you would write, 83.3 repeating percent. All right, so 4/18, once again, you could do 4 divided by 18, but hopefully we see that this could be simplified to 2/9. And so if you do 2/9, 2 divided by 9, it'll be easier. 2 has a decimal, it goes straight up, 9 into 20, 2 times 9 is 18, remainder 2, bring down to 0. 9 into 20, 2 times 9 is 18, remainder 2, and we get 2's forever. So this is 0.2 repeating. We move the decimal twice, it's 22.2 repeating percent, but we're going to round it to 22%. Right, just let's make sure. If you have 0.7 repeating, right, that, what is that? That is equal to this. So say you had that. That would be 77.7 repeating percent, which is goes up to 78% for rounding, right? When this number is 5 or bigger, you go up to the next number, next whole number. Careful of that. Right, we ended this with probability. Express your answer for landing on blue. So we count the number of blue. There are 4 out of 8 that are blue. We know that's half of it. Half of it is 0.5, which is always 50%. Now we're going to do red. Red is 3 out of 8. All right, so 3 out of 8, we're going to have to put it over thousands, which is 375 thousandths, or 0.375, which is exactly 37.5%. It does not say round, so don't round it. Those are the 3 answers that are asked for there. Right? If it was rounded, yes, it would go, because that's a 5, you go up to 38. But it wasn't asked. So let's practice. So as a fraction, this is 45 hundredths, but we have to simplify. Those are both divisible by 5, so it's 9/20ths. Right as a decimal, so we need this over 10, 100, or 1,000. So it's 3 and 28 hundredths, also known as 3.28. If you write 0.28 without the 3, then you have it wrong, so don't forget the 3. 5/4, right, is more than 100%. Right? Notice you're not going to make it a mixed number here. 5 quarters is $1.25, so that's 125 hundredths, which is 125%. 12 thirtieths, right? We're trying to make it 100. That can be simplified. They're both divisible by 3, so that's 4/10. Yes, you could go down to 2/5 as well. That's why I showed this one. 4/10 or 2/5 will get you up to 40%. Right as a decimal or whole number, so 3% is 0.03. 100% is 1. Please know that 100% is 1 whole. You eat 100% of the pizza, you ate the whole thing, 1 whole. All right, so 5/11ths, right? 11 is a prime number. Most of the prime numbers, but not all, make repeating decimals, so we're going to use the division method. 11 into 50 4 times. 11 times 4 is 44. Remainder 6. Bring down a 0. Right, decimal straight up. Don't forget that. 11 into 60 5 times. Remainder 5. Bring down a 0. 11 into 50 4 times. 4 times 11. 44. Remainder 6. Bring down a 0. And as you can see here, we're going to get 4 5s forever. So this is 0.45 repeating. Now, what's the exact? Oh, and I don't ask for the percent. So stop there. Don't give me a percent if I ask for a decimal. Or which fraction of mixed numbers are represented by the picture? Right? So these are eighths. So this is 1 and 2/8. Okay, so that's there. What else is it? Well, simplify that. It's also 1 and 1/4. Now, 1 and 1/4, hopefully we've memorized, is 1.25. Is this 1.5? No, that's 1.5, so it's not that one. And by the way, let me just show you something. 1 and 2/8, right, would make how many thousandths times 125? Be 1 and 250 thousandths. Well, it would just simplify. If you try to make 1 and 2/8 into a decimal, you just end up with those zeros in the end, which go away. That's why you do it with 1 and 1/4, the simplified fraction. All right, what fraction percent of the time did each team win? All right, so the Suns here won 800 out of 1,000, right? These are thousands, but you don't need those zeros. You don't need those zeros. It's 8/10. But we have to simplify that to 4/5. But we already know it's 8/10. So the answer here, so then we're going to make it a percent, right? Move it twice, and it's 80%. So it's 4/5 or 80% of the time, because it doesn't ask for the decimal. All right, this one is 550 thousandths. I can just cross that out, and that's 55 out of 100. So that's 55%. I still need the fraction though. It says what fraction of percent. So that has to be simplified. Divide top and bottom by 5, and you get 11/20. So they won 11 out of 20 games so far, and for 55%. And the Knicks here are 275 out of 1,000, which is, right, we have to get that as a decimal. Well, we already did that. So now we need to get that as a percent. Right. So we're going to simplify this fraction. I have a feeling both 25 goes into that. So we have to simplify this because we need the simplified fraction. And so, right, 25 goes into 104. So this is 40. And then 275 divided by 25 goes in once. With another 25. So this is 11/40. And by the way, I could have just done the percent right from here. Right, is 27.5%. Let me just show that. I could have done 55%, 80%. But I was also asked for the fractions. Good luck on the test.